Do I believe that Veracity's ecosystem token called VRA as of right now is a good buy for me currently in 2025? I would say yes, even though that's not financial advice and I can't speak on anyone's behalf. But the way you take a look at it is that here's the thing. VRA is so low in price to the point that now 50 cents is around a 372x from here. I mean, isn't that crazy? Now, some people may think that, okay, that's a little bit insane, 50 cents. Well, I don't see why that's too crazy. If it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $5 billion. I mean, wow. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion back in 2021. That was years ago. We've seen Shiba Inu reach around 40 billion. I'm not saying that VRA is going to become the largest ever cryptocurrency. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying that VRA is going to go to a $50-30 billion market cap. I'm not saying that. Let's say around 5 billion, hypothetically. Is that crazy? I don't really think so. Now, let's say some people may think that 50 cents is too insane. Okay, let's tone things down. Let's say even 10 cents, which is, of course, very low compared to 50 cents. But I'm just saying 10 cents is even over a 70x from here. That's kind of insane to think about, really. Now, again, I can't tell anyone to buy VRA. I can only speak on my behalf. But personally, for me, I'm not going all in, but what I'm doing is I'm dollar cost averaging. So anytime an income I'm acquiring, I'm holding, I'm just waiting, and that's it. Because I believe in Veracity as a project. Now, some people may think that it's kind of gimmicky, but a lot of my friends who think this way, it seems like they haven't really studied Veracity in any way. They haven't even taken a look at what it really does. They just take a look at the price chart. When it comes to VRA, they see it's not doing good. They say, oh, it's a bad project. It sucks. Well, here's my response. Take a look at Veracity. Now, if we take a look at Veracity just overall, the reason why it's so amazing, it's because it's even been stated that when it comes to Veracity, they aim to bring trust and transparency to the world of digital advertising and payments. Now, keep in mind, even though the payments market, some people would argue that, hey, there's a lot of projects focused on that. Let's say we shift the focus and let's say we focused on digital advertising. Now, more specifically, if we take a look at something like Veraviews, which is part of the Veracity ecosystem. What it's basically trying to do in simple terms is combat something called ad fraud. Now, why is ad fraud a major issue? Because sometimes people, they don't really think about this. They think about AI projects, meme coins, NFTs, DeFi. I'm totally aware of that. But this could actually be something that needs very good solving, in my opinion. And the data does speak for itself because even according to an article by Forbes, in which it does showcase a study done by Juniper Research, and indicates that by 2028, over $170 billion could potentially be wasted due to ad fraud. Now, let's just let that sink in. That's bigger than some countries' GDP. Keep in mind, even the DeFi market, the decentralized finance market, is predicted to reach slightly over $200 billion by 2030, according to Granby Research. So I think that, if anything, really puts into perspective as to just how massive of an issue this could potentially be. Now, is Veracity going to solve everything 100%? I think probably not, right? Let's say through Veraviews. Maybe you can reduce it, let's say, by 10%, 5%. That's still already very good. So this is how amazing something like Veracity could be. Now, of course, only time will tell, but this is just in theory. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to Veraviews, it's so fantastic because it only has a setup time of around 5 minutes, and it's even been stated that its accuracy rate is over 97%. So it's very easy to implement, very fast to set up, very accurate. I mean, wow. But of course, this is all just allegedly. Now, let's move on to something else when it comes to Veracity. We take a look at something called the VRA wallet, which is another thing that makes up the Veracity ecosystem. Now, allegedly, by staking VRA on the VRA wallet, again, allegedly, rewards can reach up to 15% per year. So, man, when I take a look at something like Veracity, I mean, I think it's a very special project. I think the ecosystem is very fantastic. Now, it hasn't really showcased what it's capable of, in my opinion, yet. But when I take a look at the environment that we're in as of right now, over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, more than ever before in history. Now, some people may think that, okay, that's not even 10% of the world's population. Who cares? Well, I care because, given some perspective, this is actually a very impressive number. Back in 2021, which was a very amazing year for Bitcoin, altcoins, we all know that, right? As that year, during the peak of that bull run, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners. Now we have over 600 million. man, I believe that the sky's the limit. So even though, again, it's not 10% of the world's population, I think it's a very impressive figure given, again, some perspective and compared to back in 2021. Not to mention, we have to take a look at how, even historically speaking, there could still very well be a ways to go when it comes to this board, at least as a worst case scenario, because usually as a worst case scenario, altcoins, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Again, this is based off history. Now, if we base this off the last Bitcoin halving event that happened in April of last year, 18 months from then would actually mean around October this year. So I still think that, hey, there could maybe be ways to go here. Now, only time will tell, but take a look at Charles Hoskinson, which I think we can all agree is a very reputable individual. Charles, by the way, is not only the co-founder of Ethereum, but the founder of Cardano. Back in November of 2024, so last year, he did say that 1-2 years from then, he could very well see Bitcoin reaching anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. Now, is Charles Hoskinson going to be 100% correct? Only time will tell. However, the way to take a look at it is that if someone of that caliber says something, I'm going to pay attention. And keep in mind, if let's say Bitcoin does just, quote unquote, go to the price of $250,000, even at that point, I don't think 50 cents would be too much to ask for when it comes to VRA. Now, I'm not guaranteeing every altcoin is going to pump, but I'm just hypothetically saying that, hey, usually when Bitcoin does do that well, typically some good altcoins do go along with the ride, which is why I haven't given up. Now, it would be very easy for me to give up, but I'm waiting anyways. But again, I don't want to give up because that's not my style. I like to wait it out, I like to persevere, and I like to see things through. Now, am I guaranteeing that I'm going to be 100% correct? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that I'm willing to wait. Now, some people, if they don't want to wait, let's say some of my friends, they don't want to, it's totally their choice. But personally, for me, I'm willing to wait. Whatever the result is, whatever the market could be, I'm going to stay patient because I'm in this anyways. So that's why, again, I'm not giving up when it comes to VRA. And when people like to ask me, hey, is 50 cents still my price target? The answer is yes. But in theory, because VRA is so low in price at the point that even 10 cents would already be hypothetically very fantastic nonetheless. At least personally for me. I can't speak on anyone's behalf, which is why, again, I still believe in this space. I still believe in Verasity, and I think it's a very special project, very underrated. You know, the market cap when it comes to VRA is hovering around $10 million. Of course, it's more than that, but I'm just saying give or take. So the way I view it is that this is kind of crazy for me to see because the market cap is as low as many meme coins that I've seen. And this isn't a meme coin, though. This is actually a very amazing project with hypothetically tremendous utility that could very well have good adoption in the future. Only time will tell. But I'm just saying, market cap feels like a meme coin, but then the use case isn't, of course, something like that, which is why this is a no-brainer for me. And 50 cents, man, I really can't wait, hypothetically, for VRA's comeback. And again, I'm staying patient. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. Greatly appreciate it. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.